What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land boxing talk, people. And today we talking Earl Spence's career versus Terence Crawford's career. Who wins? Uh, it's a lot of talk surrounding these two fighters. At the moment, Earl Spence is about to take on Mikey Garcia, and I feel like it's not a pick'em fight, or it's not a 50-50 fight because of Earl Spencer's size compared to Mikey Garcia's size, but I just want to see Mikey Garcia do good, man. So I'm going to call it a 50-50 fight, even though I know it's not. But I really want to see Mikey Garcia do good in that fight. But when you compare Earl Spence to Terence Crawford, man, I really think there is no comparison because, like Mikey Garcia, Terence Crawford has to come up to see Earl Spence. I know a lot more people feel like Earl Spence is like a bully. He only good because he beats up on smaller fighters. But if you're willing to come meet him at his weight, what else can you expect? You can't expect Earl Spence to go down and try to fight you at your weight when he's that size. It would be like Gennady Golovkin going down and trying to fight Terence Crawford. It makes no sense really. If Terence Crawford wants to fight Golovkin, he's gonna have to see Golovkin at 154 or bigger. So it really makes no sense for Earl Spence to go down. So I feel like Earl Spence is the A side because Earl Spence doesn't have to go down in weight. Earl Spence is the bigger fighter. Earl Spence has more lucrative fights available, and I feel like Earl Spence's career is on a higher trajectory than Terence Crawford's career is. Only because of the fact that Terence Crawford is kind of stuck at Top Rank, and there's not a lot of fights over at Top Rank. Top Rank has to do cross promotional deals to get Terence Crawford a fight, and a good fight. But Earl Spence doesn't have that problem. He has plenty of fighters over at the PBC that he can just run through, even though I don't believe he's signed to the PBC. So, but he has some type of deal going with them to where he's in he can always just go pick one of those fighters to go match up with and make some real good money off of that. And I feel like Terence Crawford kind of passed his opportunity up when Manny Pacquiao was at Top Rank. If Manny Pacquiao would have just retired, it would have been different. But Manny Pacquiao is still active, and he's a cash cow for anybody who matches up with him. So I feel like if Terence Crawford would have took advantage of the opportunity, even with a loss, I think like Canelo losing to Mayweather, it would have built his career up a lot more than him fighting Jeff Horn or Amir Khan. Jeff Horn's a nobody, and Amir Khan, he's a great name, but he's not a proven champion. So I kind of feel like Terence Crawford's career is going backwards, while Earl Spence's career is going forward, just because of the opportunities that Earl Spence has in front of him. I feel like whoever wins this Mikey Garcia fight, barring there not being a Maypac rematch, I think the winner gets Pacquiao. I feel like Pacquiao Spence is a great fight. I feel like Pacquiao Garcia is a great fight. And then there are like 4 or 5 other names over at the PBC that you can match him up with. Now, don't get me wrong, Terence Crawford could still be in the running for a Manny Pacquiao shot. We don't know which direction Pacquiao's gonna go in after this Adrian Broner fight if he wins. There's always the Mayweather rematch. There's a possible Crawford fight, a possible Spence, possible Mikey Garcia, possible Thurman, possible Porter. There's a bunch of names you could just throw out there, and it's crazy when you think about it, man. But let's do some comparisons of these two fighters, man, before I ramble on too long. Let's start with Earl Spence. Earl Spence Jr. is 24-0, 21 KOs. Excuse me. He was born in 1990 on July 13th. He's 28 years old. He debuted 11-9-2012. He's a southpaw in the welterweight division. He's 5'9", with a 72-inch reach. He's from Dusto, Texas. Yeah. I feel like Earl Spence is he's the next big name in boxing, man. I think a lot of people think it's Crawford, but I think because of Spence's size and the where he campaigns at, I think unless Crawford can make a jump up, I don't see Spence going down to medium. I think Crawford's going to have to make a jump up in weight. And I don't feel like that's good for Crawford to try to go to 154 or above. I feel like there are a bunch of fighters that Crawford can fight and do well with, like Mikey Garcia, like Sean Porter, like Thurman, like Danny Garcia. But because I feel like Earl Spence has the opportunity to go fight Canelo. Earl Spence has the opportunity to go fight Triple G and really make a name for himself. Where I don't feel like Terence Crawford has that opportunity anymore. I feel like Terence Crawford's only opportunity was to fight Manny Pacquiao. And I feel like that opportunity is slowly slipping away from Terence Crawford. And the only other super fight out there for Crawford would be for him to fight Earl Spence. But he's, like I said, Earl Spence is not coming down to see you. You got to go up there and see him, And you're going to probably be the B-side. So, it's going to be a lot of negotiation around that fight. And it's not going to take place when fans want it to take place. I feel like Terence Crawford, he just stuck on Bud Allen, man. He stuck over there with Bob Earl and Top Rank, and he really has nothing, nobody else to fight over there. He's going to eventually have to make some type of crossover. Let's talk about Terence Crawford's career. 34-0, 25 KOs. Terence Crawford was born, August 28th, 1987. He's 31 years old. He's a welterweight. Southpaw, 5'8", 74-inch reach. What does he weigh? They don't have his weight on. I don't know why they don't have his weight on her. They got height. No weight for some reason. They don't say it's welterweight. All right, when you think about Terence, and I'm not trying to down Terence Crawford or anything. I just feel like Terence Crawford is he's just stuck, man, with Bob Earl, and Bob Earl is using him to try to keep Top Rank afloat, and that's not the right way to market a fighter like Crawford. Crawford could be a great fighter at 147 to maybe one. I don't like him at 154. I think he's the perfect 147 fighter. I just don't like him at 154. I think it's a mistake for him to go up there and try to see Earl Spence at a higher weight. I don't feel like they should fight at 147. I feel like the fight should be at 154, where Earl Earl Spence is the strongest he can be, and if Terence Crawford is really as good as he is, he should be able to compete at that weight. And I feel like the winner of that should get Canelo next. And I know Triple G is gonna get his rematch, but I feel like the winner of that, because I feel like Triple G is done. I don't think Triple G got too much left. Canelo is the big guy right there at middleweight. He's the big name, and I feel like Earl Spence could give Canelo a run for his money in a year or two. After he fights Mikey, fight Crawford, and then fight Canelo. In 2020. That would be a great fight to me. Because I see the rematch with Canelo and Triple G about to happen probably sometime at the end of this year. And, if Earl Spence can manage to get through Mikey Garcia and Terence Crawford, then I feel like Canelo is the next big test, and then we'll see who the real top dog is in boxing for the next few years. These guys are starting to hit that 30-year mark, so they're not gonna be around for but 5-6 more years. So as far as active fighters, so I feel like we got to stop hitting these plateaus in boxing to where guys should be matching up with each other, but the fights don't happen for 5 or 6 years. They just don't happen until both guys are past their prime. But as far as Terence Crawford and Earl Spence, careers are at this point, I got Earl Spence a notch above Crawford because of the opportunities Earl Spence has, because of all the fights that are over there sitting and waiting for Earl Spence. And it's just the complete opposite for Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford has to seek out a fight to where Earl Spence has plenty of fights lined up. And I think it only gets greater for Earl Spence if he manages to beat Mikey Garcia and somehow gets a Pacquiao fight or takes Terence Crawford as his next fight. And like I said, man, I really love to see Spence versus Canelo and see just what type of fight that would end up being, man. I think Spence wins, but I think it's a classic. Let me know what y'all think down below, man. Trying to get to 100 thumbs up, man. Come on, y'all. I almost made it on the Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao video. So, come on, man. Hit that button for me, man. And if you know anybody, tell them about me, man. Trying to spread the word. Ollie Land Boxing Talk. If you know any homeless people, go down there and holler at these people, man. They people, they human. If you got any extras, take it down there and talk to them, man. Let them know you care. If you ain't got nothing else to talk about, tell them about boxing. Ollie Land Boxing Talk. Cardinal Red. We out of here.